All right, so finally got around to seeing episode 2 of What If. Yo, like this episode, this episode made me happy. It got me hype, and then it also made me super fucking sad. Like, all right, so let me go through the stages here. Happy, I absolutely love fucking hearing Chadwick Boseman one more time. The dude crushes it as T'Challa across the board. He was my favorite MCU character in the live action series. He's probably going to end up being my favorite What If character in this animated series. He's absolutely fucking fantastic. His version of Star-Lord is basically what if Star-Lord was successful. And I think I'm gonna talk about it in a separate video because it's a lot to unpack. But his version of Star-Lord is my favorite version of Star-Lord. Like, I like this version, the T'Challa version of Star-Lord, way more than I do the Peter Quill version of Star-Lord. It's super fucking dope. Even though he's in space, he still has the Wakanda drip. He's walking around in all this purple and gold. The Ravagers are his friends. He gets into a fucking philosophical debate with Thanos, where Thanos realizes his plan is completely fucked up. It is absolutely awesome. I would love, like, if Chadwick Boseman was still with us, I would have, in all honesty, loved to have seen a continuation of this in live action, because I think it would have been awesome. Like, super awesome. Like, the hype part of this episode is definitely my man, the Collector. Like, the Collector went from like this neurotic, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, he went from like this like neurotic dude whose like thing was just like collecting people to like this super dope, like, everyone in this series has drip. Like, the Collector has drip. Like, the dude got jacked. He has all this tech. He has like a wall of fucking weapons, and we're gonna talk about all those weapons that he has on his wall, because there are the obvious ones, and then there are the not so obvious ones sitting in his collection bin. But the Collector is awesome as a villain, and I want to see the Collector come back as a villain, because I feel like this is the version of the Collector that gets closest to the Collector from the comics, where like when you walk into his collection, it's just this giant sprawling space of just cells, and everybody in the cell is just like, well, of course you're depressed because this guy is holding you against your will as like an art display. The story in this is way better. I feel as though the first episode was more of a rehash of Captain America: The First Avenger, whereas this one was the first time What If steps outside of anything that has come before. Like, it's not a retelling of anything. It's a completely brand new story with a brand new arc. And I'm really wondering if there are certain scenes that we've seen in the series, in the trailer, with different heroes together. I'm wondering if at the end of this we're going to get like a What If Avengers, with like Peggy Carter, T'Challa as Star-Lord, the Ravagers. I know we still need to see Mad Titan, Conqueror, Gamora, like all these different characters. So I'm wondering if like the big threat that they talk about in this episode is something that's going to happen down the line, or if it's just solidly contained to this. Now we reach to the part of sadness, because you get to the end of this, and then the entire time you're watching, you completely forget that Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us. And you get to the end of it, and it reminds you, and all of that like hype that you had, which is like, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see that, I want to see this, it kind of it goes away. And like, I'm happy that they had like, a in memory of Chadwick Boseman since his passing at the end of the episode. And it kind of like, I don't know, man, like, it's so depressing. Like, it's super depressing seeing like the fantastic work that he put in voice acting the character one last time, and this fantastic new world that he created that we may be able to visit again, and to know that he's no longer with us. But that's it. I like to keep these things brief. Episode 2 of the What If series is out. What if T'Challa was Star-Lord? It's super dope. Check it out. Peace.